Peace and blessings in this corner boxing 24. Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing this evening? Hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing pretty good on this side. Can't complain. As always, God is good, and God is definitely great. So, it's being reported that Errol Spence and Terrence Bud Crawford are close to fighting. That the fight is getting close to being confirmed with a possible date in November. Now, of course, I'm still a little skeptical because of what Floyd said. Floyd said if you don't hear it from him or hear it from Fight Hype, then it's not happening. But he said it, but he did say if he didn't hear it from him or Fight Hype that the fight has happened, that it's been signed, basically. I think that's what he said. This is saying that it's getting close. I don't think Floyd would talk about it getting close or maybe even fight hype until it's actually done. So I'm a little skeptical because of that, but again, maybe when it's done, then they'll say it, right? Fight hype. Because fight hype definitely gives legit information. I give them their props on that. So we'll wait and see. But I'm hearing that ESPN and other news outlets, sports news outlets, are saying that the fight is close and it's coming up. They're very close to confirming it and signing the deal. So, of course, anybody that knows me knows that I'm going with Terrence Bud Crawford in the fight. I like Errol Spence. I respect him. I respect his heart. I respect his skills. But I have a little more leaning towards Terrence Bud Crawford. You know, I'm not going to get into who needs each other more because they need each other to be undisputed. But what I will say that I've been saying is that Terrence Bud Crawford was undisputed at 140. So he knows what that feeling is like. That's a big difference. Errol Spence is trying to get that feeling, but Bud already knows what it's like at 140. He cleaned out that division. And he said that he's accomplished so much in his life in boxing that it's a dream come true. And that's just at 135 and 140. And then he came in at 147. He came in the door fighting Jeff Horn, who beat a legend, Manny Pacquiao. That's not a bad way to come into the division. You know what I'm saying? And then he came in and he fought Kell Brook and he fought Shawn Porter, and he beat them in great fashion. So he came in the door, man, putting in work. So when I hear people saying that Errol Spence is doing all this heavy lifting, again, I'm not hating on anybody, but all this heavy lifting, but what heavy lifting are you talking about? Because Kell Brook wasn't undisputed or unified. Nobody that you fought was unified or undisputed. You know what I'm saying? You trying to become that. Okay? Kell Brook, that fight won 11 rounds. And, Kell Brook gave him some problems. Shawn Porter, we already know what happened with Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter gave him the hardest fight of his life. And when you look at his face, it's like, man, how did he get out of that fight? Right? And to me, like I said, I don't care what the haters say, anybody say, Shawn Porter, I had Shawn Porter winning that fight. And definitely, without that knockdown, man, he should have won. A draw should have been the least that happened in that fight. But, it is what it is. Errol Spence got that win. I don't give him no credit. I don't give him any credit for Mikey Garcia, a lightweight. But he couldn't even stop him. All right? Ugas, I think Ugas' best fight was Manny Pacquiao. He was on such a high. I don't think he was on that high when he fought Errol Spence. Not making no excuses for him. But I could just look at his body language and his energy. They didn't have a good game plan. I thought that I was going to see something different, and I didn't. Again, props to Errol Spence. He took care of the business. He did what he had to do. But Bud Crawford did the same thing. Now, to those who will say, well, Bud Crawford, as I say, Errol Spence has been hit, he's been hurt, right? We've seen it with Ugas, knocked his mouthpiece out. We've seen Sean Porter on top of him. We've seen Kell Brook have some moments with him. We saw this, right? So we can't deny what we saw, right? Now, to those who will say, well, Terrence Crawford got dropped by Mean Machine Kavalauskas. Well, that wasn't a drop, a flat out, he hit him and dropped him. Terrence Crawford, from what I saw, he lost his balance and he slipped and then he got caught. So he was already going down from that. It wasn't like he just hit him and caught him and dropped him. Okay, but nevertheless, he finished that fight. Okay? He finished the fight with a stoppage, right? So it is what it is. Then people want to bring up Gamboa. When he fought Gamboa, that Gamboa rocked him. Well, Gamboa was an undisputed fighter at the time that they fought. He was a legend at the time they fought. He was being mentioned in the same line as Floyd Mayweather when they fought. Okay? Gamboa was no joke. He was laying dudes out. All right? So that's the Terrence Crawford that fought Gamboa. That's the Gamboa that Terrence Crawford fought. Pardon me. Not the one that Tank fought and even Devin Haney. No disrespect. But Gamboa is not the same fighter. Okay? Been in the game for a minute. I think he's 37, 38. And he's been around for a while, man. So he got wear and tear on him. Right? But to those who want to try to knock Terrence Crawford about that fight, nah, Gamboa was no joke at that time. So you was going to get hit by him. You was going to face some adversity fighting him. But at the end of the day, he still finished it off, right? He faced some adversity with Sean Porter. It wasn't easy, but he finally got Sean Porter out of there, right? First time he's ever been knocked down 2 times and stopped. Same thing with Kell Brook. In the beginning, Kell Brook gave him some issues because you're not going to listen. You're not going to just run through everybody, okay? But didn't he get him up out of there in a few rounds? That's all that matters. He figured him out and did what he had to do. And I see the same thing happening with Errol Spence. I feel like Crawford is going to figure him out. I know some people say he got to start early. Well, listen, I think he just got to pace himself. No, he's not a fast starter anyway. I think he will start a little bit faster with Errol Spence because Errol Spence is going to come to him. And he ain't going to have no choice but to start fast. And once he gets it going and gets started, it's going to be a wrap, man. He's going to start breaking Errol Spence down like he's never been broke down before. Start backing him up. Start pushing him back. Start elbowing him. Start leaning on him. And then start throwing him body shots and throwing him head shots. That's all he got to do. Throw them uppercuts. Throw them overhands. Right? No disrespect, man. Like I said, I keep it real. I tell the truth. Errol Spence is not a backwards fighter. He don't fight off his back foot. He don't fight going backwards. And he don't throw punches. You watch his fights if you don't believe what I'm saying. Watch his fight even with Danny Garcia. Even when Danny Garcia was pressing him, Errol Spence wasn't throwing no punches when he was going backwards because he's not comfortable doing that. And that's what you got to do. You got to push him backwards. Okay? Danny Garcia had some moments too. I forgot about that. Danny Garcia had some moments. Okay? Errol Spence had the car accident. He fought Sean Porter. He had the car accident. And then coming back from the car accident, he fought Danny Garcia. Right? That was his rebound fight. And then he had the detached retina because he was going to fight Manny Pacquiao, and then he fought Ugas. That was his next fight in. Right? So he recovered from the car accident, recovered from the detached retina. He's full-fledged now. He's back. So it shouldn't be no excuses, man, when Bud breaks him down and beats him. Don't be surprised if he stops him. I don't know why y'all acting like this man can't be touched or he can't be hurt or he can't be stopped. Like, it could happen to anybody. Floyd Mayweather, the great Floyd Money Mayweather, was rocked by Shane Mosley. See, so on one hand, y'all say Shane was washed up, but he was washed up, but yet he almost put Floyd Mayweather out. No, he wasn't washed up. He was just coming off a win over Antonio Margarito. He stopped him. Well, you know, we wasn't washed up. Because if he would have knocked Floyd Mayweather out, we wouldn't be talking about no washed up. That would have been one of the biggest upsets, if not the biggest upsets in the history of boxing, man. And definitely in the last 20 years because Floyd was undefeated. Okay? So that's what that would have been. So it could happen to anybody. All right? It could happen to anybody. So we're looking forward to the fight, man. And the beauty in the fight also, the undercard that's being talked about that I'm hearing, that will really, man, that might be the fight. Whew. I'm not going to say it's going to take the show, but it's damn sure going to be close. As long as it can stay in there with him, man. If Jaron Ennis is on that undercard, he's the co-main event. Boots, my favorite fighter. And he gets Stanionis in there, Mantis Stanionis. Oh, man. Keith Thurman, you ain't no gatekeeper, but you ain't no one time when it comes to Jaron Ennis. You gonna be no time when he get a hold of you if you decide to fight him. Okay, so all you do is just talking, kind of bend. You don't really want to fight Boots because you can really fight Eubanks. All right, but that's another story. All right, but Jaron Boots Ennis might be on that undercard. And that's going to be beautiful, man. You know, because that's going to be his gateway to that big fight. Because the winner, they got to see him. And he's going to be right there. He's going to be on that co-main event, hopefully. And he's going to be right there, front row. And, man, I hope he jump right in the ring. Be like, man, let's do it next. Whoever the winner is. But I think it's going to be Terrence Crawford. All right? So that's really all I got. We'll keep looking out, looking forward to information coming on the fight. And hopefully, this is August, so we should be hearing something real soon. And I said at least by September, beginning of September, we should know. But this is the 9th of August, so we may get it in the next week or so. And that'll be a good thing. You know, we know what we're looking forward to, all right? So peace and blessings in this corner boxing 24. Please subscribe to the page. Please leave your comments, whether it's nay or yay. Everybody stay safe. Be safe out there. Wear your mask. And protect yourself. Okay? Peace and blessings, y'all. In this corner boxing 24.